What's poppin'? All right, let's see if we can run it back better this time. All right. Let's go ahead and get everybody situated. Peace, family. We're finna go into this build with grace, with gratitude, with awareness. I hope y'all really learn and find some good value in this. I'm gonna label this Peace, family, money boy me. Peace, Joe. Chelsea, Villa, what's up? All right, so what I'm gonna do is, all right, so in a minute, I'm gonna turn off the comments. But at the same time, I don't want to turn them off because I want to know what y'all might ask or suggest. But I'm gonna give myself a couple more seconds and then we're gonna get started. Because this is gonna be saved on Instagram and also on YouTube. So y'all could definitely go back and definitely get all this insight, especially if you want to save it. You feel? All right. What's up, Master Thyself? All right. Well, see, since we're in the building now, let's go ahead and get into this build. So today we're going to be discussing the laws of the mind. All right. Oh, the music is over? Hold on, what up? Let's put this right back on. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for showing up. You feel me? This is going to be saved on YouTube and on Instagram, like I said. So we're going to go ahead and get started with these 6 laws of the mind. My intention for sharing this information is to bring in foresight, wisdom, and understanding around all the concepts that are floating around the cosmic streets right now. A lot of people are thinking, acting, and hoping to manifest or use the law of attraction and all these other things. And I feel that this knowledge brings all of those concepts back to a fundamental basis of right now, what can I do with that? And that is my intention in sharing this information. So drop a 1 in the chat right now if you're ready and you with it. I just want to see who's in here. Drop a 1 in the chat and let's pop off. Drop a 1 in the chat, family. And I just want to see if anybody's in here. And we're going to get started. All right, boom. So, all right, cool. So we in there. All right, boom. So first, when we speak on the mind, oftentimes we understand the subconscious is there and we know the conscious. But these 6 laws are going to fundamentally explain how we can utilize our thoughts right now. And a lot of this stuff I will also have to add is things that we learned when we were growing up, whether we grew up in church, whether we grew up in Africa, wherever we grew up. A lot of the things that we were given were really good. We just didn't really know or have a clear awareness on how they work and why they work. But with this insight, you should be back on 1,000. So let's go ahead and jump into the first law. First law of the mind is that thoughts are real forces. Like a string of a guitar, every time you think, you are literally creating vibrations. And if anybody in this chat has ever been nervous, has ever been anxious, has ever been afraid, you know that that moment comes, it almost happens like a split second. What's up, 5D? What's up? Oh man, this is gonna be great. So we all know what that feels like, but sometimes you might not have been able to pinpoint how that whole thing erupted. Most times it's like somebody say something. Oh shit, the police coming. Oh shit, mom. And then it's like the thoughts now that now starts to turn your emotions. And this is showing us that thoughts are real things. So there's another way that we can understand this. First principle, every time you see somebody, you can meet somebody standing somewhere and you see the person by the way they position themselves and you know they're confident because you can feel it on them. You understand? But that confidence that you see is coming from the inside towards the outside, okay? So thoughts that we realize on people, let's say you read people or you could read body language, you're reading silent thoughts because a person who is timid, a person who is afraid, You can read that energy on them. So thoughts are very real. And in this image right here, you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the comments for a second. In this image right here, you can see that these three individuals here are conceptualizing something, and it seems like it's not in front of them, but they're creating it right now in the realms of the ether. They're creating it right now in the quantum field, because they're all putting their thoughts in the same place. So without a moment's notice, these group of people right here, they're going to come out with a manifestation. Oh, we just made a phone. Why? Because they started with a concept and they built upon the concept. So thoughts are real. We just have sometimes a hard time pulling those thoughts down and crystallizing them into the physical reality. But I hope you get some more insight by the time this is over. So give yourself the opportunity to pluck on the strings of good luck, to pluck on the strings of good fortune, to pluck on confidence. What does that look like? Well, that looks like something good happening in your life and you speaking about it, you affirming that you've noticed the blessing that just came in. And let's say you just got a raise or you just got promoted. You could say something like, man, I knew something good was on the way. What does that do? That prepares your mind to now look for something good to be on the way. So every time you acknowledge something good, you're using the law of increase. And in the law, when the law of increase is being used, which is not a part of this, but the law of increase is pretty much governed by how we speak. Either we're increasing ourselves, either we're increasing our situation and people around us, or we're decreasing things. Sharing doubt or sharing fear, those are utilizing the law of decrease. So as above, so below, as within, so without. The things that you think on the inside or within your mind have the potential to become physical. But then let's go a little bit deeper on how we can actually do that. So let's move into number 2. Hold on, I wanted to show y'all, make sure that y'all see this, because this is how y'all look every time y'all walking around. Y'all literally walking with energy. Like, you literally walk into a room and everybody in the room feels you as soon as you get in there. This is because thoughts are real. So let's go ahead into the law number 2. Boom. So now, the law of transmission. What I've come to realize is the mind is a sending and receiving station. Somebody would call it a station, but I like to think of the concept of a production studio, because the production studio, when you think about a production studio, you think about the unlimitedness of creativity. So in the image here, you can see that this woman is speaking, I resonate with the highest in the universe. As she says that, these words leave the mouth, which is where thoughts are sent, and then they are also now received by the ears. This shows you that we are number one inside the mind right now, me and you, but also when you're by yourself, you're in the mind, because when you speak, you hear yourself. See, we have to understand the essence of the universe that lives inside of us. So as we're speaking here right now, thoughts are traveling through the quantum field. That's why sometimes when you have a friend and you have them in mind, you might get a phone call from them, or you might be thinking about somebody and they just like your Instagram post or something of that nature. That's because everything's connected. The whole field is connected. And in the same way, we are connected without looking outside. So I'm connected within myself. You're connected within yourself, but then we're also connected as individuals. So yes, thoughts are sent and received. We understand that part. So what else about that? Well, you also receive thoughts from your inner being. Your subconscious speaks to you through the same way of emotion and thoughts. And to give you what's the word? To give you some type of picture, you can see right here, right? The bubbles are leaving the ocean and they're rising to the surface. And that's literally how our emotions are triggered, and we see the result on the screen of space from the subconscious mind. So if somebody walked into your presence and says something about your hair, you might be triggered about that, because deep down you have a certain type of thought or a certain type of belief, and their words cause that to come up. So when we have emotions, normally we try to hide them, suppress them, or do things so that we don't feel them. But our emotions are literally messengers. And when you understand this, you start to overlook what you feel and what you say right before it comes out your being, right before it comes out your mouth. Another thing I wanted to make clear about this is your subconscious, or what's in there right now, has been piled up for a long time. So sometimes when things come up, they might come up just a little bit at a time. Sometimes they might come up a lot at a time. And you might not know how to act. You might not know how to use that feeling right now because it's anger now. But it could be righteous anger. It could be anger that you just need to learn how to channel and use properly. Okay? So this is showing us how we transmit thoughts to each other and also how thoughts are transmitted from our inner being, our subconscious mind, to the screen of space. It's through triggering. It's through having deep conversations and revealing certain things. So let me get y'all out the ocean real quick, and let's get back over. Let's get back over here. So boom. What else I want to say about this? Actually, that's the last piece. So after this, we're going to move into the third law. So first we have thoughts are real things. Thoughts are real forces. Okay. Now we have thoughts are transmittable and receivable. And we know this because we talk to people, we have conversations, and we do all the nine. So now let's go into number 3, the third law. I know, am I going too fast? Hold on, I'm going to put these comments back on because am I going too fast? What's up, Star? 22222, what's up? Let me know if I'm going too fast, family, because there's 6 laws here. I got some more examples outside of the 6. So I don't want to move too slow. I don't want to move too fast. So let me know if I'm going at a good pace right now. Just drop a 1 in the chat real quick so I get some recognition, so I can feel a little good. All right, bet. Awesome. Blessings. Okay, boom. So let's go ahead and move into number 3. Actually, before I move to number 3, there was another graphic I wanted to show you, another video. This is what we're doing right now. Thoughts are being transmitted in this way all day. And this is exactly how we're going to do it. So let's go ahead. All right, so hold on one second. I should have made this known. I was about to make a movie. I'm making a movie right now. No, I think I should throw it away. All right, y'all. Appreciate the patience. All right, so let's move right here into number 3. The law of attraction. And we know about the law of attraction. We've heard about the law of attraction, but I hope this helps you understand it just a little bit more clear. Okay, so when we understand our thoughts, when our thoughts are backed by emotions, they become heavier, they become magnets. And if you conceptualize a belief as a magnet, then you'll realize that your beliefs actually pull to you the experiences that you seem to want to have. A lot of times we have negative beliefs, but we haven't necessarily cleared them as much as we possibly could. So now let's come over here to this Bible verse that it literally explains the subconscious in one sentence. According to your faith, will it be done to you? That's Matthew 9:29. Because when we understand the concept of faith that correlates with belief. Okay. So I want to explain something before we continue, that when we think and when we know or / believe, there are 2 separate constructs going on right here. So thinking is electrical because the thoughts are pinging 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I were to ask you, what do you believe your name is? You probably feel uncomfortable answering that question because you know for 100% certainty that your name is Sean or David. So the aspect of knowing and the aspect of thinking is what we need to understand when it comes to the law of attraction and when it comes to manifesting. Because the thing that comes to us in our life is a thing that we wholeheartedly believe, whether it's good for us or not. So a lot of times if people want to manifest money or want to manifest abundance in a different way, not necessarily money, but maybe abundance of love, maybe abundance of confidence, abundance of anything. Whatever you have in your subconscious right now, whatever you truly strongly believe, unaware to you, is actually what's causing your current reality. So we want to understand a little bit deeper how we can be aware of what we actually believe inside. So some strong negative magnets could be something like fear. Peace to the greetings, P&G girls. We want to understand how these strong magnets like fear, doubt, or worry correlate into our experience. As you can see over here on the far left, this magnet is placed in a person's heart because the heart symbolizes the subconscious mind. If you look at the word heart in Hebrew, it means the inside. And we already understand that as above, so below, so as within, so without. So we know that when we're speaking about our internal world, we're literally talking about the subconscious, or we're talking about the heart in a true sense. So, what kind of things can we do when we learn about what's in our subconscious? Well, we have to actually show up with questions. Because when we show up with questions, the subconscious cannot ignore a question. It's kind of like part of our genetic code. We answer a question silently in thoughts, even if we didn't really want to answer the question. And questions just have a certain way of evoking from us the response that we are holding within us, in a sense. So boom, you can ask yourself questions like, what do I truly believe about myself in this area or in this situation? And when you have that response, you can now utilize that and say, how did I create this belief? Or, what time frame was this created? Like, when in my life did I accept this? And then you can go ahead and say, why do I believe this? Oh, because my mom told me this, or because I realized that XYZW. You understand? So let's go ahead and continue on. And Matthew 21:22 also speaks on this. It say, whatsoever you ask in prayer, comma, believe, and you shall receive. The reason why I said it so slow like that is because whatever you shall ask in prayer is symbolizing thoughts. It's symbolizing thinking. It's symbolizing talking to the source. It's symbolizing talking to the universe. That's why we fold our hands when we pray, because we're aligning ourselves with our subconscious. Okay? So, with this in mind, you can still use what you hold inside of you as your belief towards a greater accomplishment or a greater achievement. And the way to do this is by understanding the essence of how the law of attraction works. It puts momentum behind your belief, no matter what it is. So at the end of this, we're going to speak a little bit about how we can become aware of what we really believe, so that we can actually start to recreate our world. A lot of times we think about what we want to do, but we don't believe about it, so it don't show up for us. See, when you align your thoughts, your actions, and your beliefs, that's when manifestation becomes pertinent. That's when things pop off, and that's when you start to see frequent results from your actions and your thoughts. Okay, so let's go ahead and wait, did I have something to share for this? I was going to show y'all. Yeah, that was it for that one. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move to number 4, the law of, what's the law? The law of control. So number 4 is the law of control. And I want to get some music back on because I feel like that's what I want to do. Oops, hold up. All right, boom. So the law of control. So the law of control allows us to realize that we have the ability to choose to either entertain a thought or to dismiss a thought. And this might be a little bit difficult to understand, because a lot of times, how do you choose, like, if I should respond to this or not? Well, the Bible actually has a great saying for this, but it's been misinterpreted. And the saying is, turn the other cheek. Sometimes they illustrate this to be like, somebody can take advantage of you and you should turn so that they do it again, or something of that nature, which is false and faulty. But the truth of that saying is to turn your focus, turn your attention, turn your direction away from the thing that is not serving you, away from the thing that's not feeding you, in a sense. So, so as we have the power to control or dismiss any thoughts, we need to learn how to use that power. So obviously y'all want to do something real quick? Let's just fly to Thailand real quick, because I'm actually going to show y'all, I'm going to share a story with y'all about the law of control that will put it into a great perspective for all of us. So what I'm about to do right now, we're about to hop in a plane real quick. Let's go ahead and pull up in Thailand. I know there's some monks out there, so we might hear some chants and things. Let's go ahead and get to Thailand real quick. All right, so we're about to be in Thailand in a couple minutes. Talk to the hand. So turn the other cheek essentially means talk to the hand. To be honest with you, T, I wouldn't say it means that necessarily. I would say it's more so towards change your focus or turn your focus away, in the sense of y'all talking bullshit over here, turn your focus. That's kind of how I've found the essence of that. Um, but I wouldn't necessarily say it means talk to the hand. As long as we think of thoughts as something separate from the rest of ourselves, we miss congruence logic within a system and the rest of all ourselves. No, we're definitely a part of this. Okay? So now, since we in Thailand now, let's go ahead and let me walk y'all through this story real quick. All right. So we here. Here we are. All right. So here we are in Thailand, and the story involves two monks who are the leaders of their community. Okay? And these two monks have been actually going through a lot of stress with the people of the tribe. It seems that they've becoming very impatient and very angry about small situations, and they wanted to take some time by themselves to recenter themselves with divine spirit and realign themselves with the infinite. So they decided to tell their wives, which, they're both in individual families. They told their wives that they were going to spend 3 days traveling to the mountain and 3 days traveling back from the mountain. And they made an agreement with each other that as they're on their way to the mountain, they're not going to talk as they're going to talk as little as possible so that they can listen internally. And they're not going to engage with any females, no women, no excess women. You shouldn't be looking at nobody. Pretty much, that's the rules that they set for themselves. And now they're heading out to the mountains, right? So on their journey here, they arrive to a river which they need to cross. And before they get to the river crossing, there's a woman carrying a basket with food, and she's approaching them. And in their minds, they're considering, what is she doing looking at us? And they stand still. She gets much closer, and then she starts to speak, but they don't hear what she's saying. When she is standing in front of them, she then says, "Excuse me, strong man, can one of you please help me cross the river? It seems the rain from last night has caused the rapids to be heavy, and I don't think I can cross the river with this basket of grains and food." Immediately, the two monks look at each other, and they're like having a mental fog moment, because they both made truce about what they were going to do on this journey and how they were going to present themselves along the path. So in their mind, they're not really sure what to do. And all of this happens within 5 seconds. The older monk looks at the woman, grabs her by her arm, and takes the basket in one arm and swoops her up in the other arm. The other monk is just staring at her. What's up, Artasia? The other monk is staring at her and him as they walk towards the river to cross the river. So now they cross the river. He puts her down and he returns her basket to her. Now she tries to offer him an orange, and he just holds his hand up like this with a smile and puts his head down and turns around and walks back. So now the two monks are back together, and they're continuing their journey in silence. They haven't said a word to each other. And this is the two monks right here. What's going on is the monk on the right is salty. He's mad because he doesn't really understand why he would do that, but he has said nothing. So an hour goes by, an hour and 30 minutes goes by, still nothing. 2 hours goes by, 4 hours goes by, and they're still silent, walking on their path. And then 6 hours shows up, and this monk on the right is like, he's full of anger. He's full of anger. So he can't take it anymore. He says, "But I don't understand. Why would you touch that woman? Why would you carry that woman?" And the older monk turns to him and says, "Are you still carrying her? I put her down 6 hours ago." So the moral of this story, to share with everybody, is to give ourselves the opportunity to ask, what are some things that we are still carrying from 2 weeks ago, from 1 month ago, from 6 months ago, or for 6 years ago, that we don't really need to continue our journey with? Just like these two monks, the younger monk could have at any time put down this idea. He could have at any time told himself, well, if he didn't do it, I would have done it. But he was frustrated, and he could only hold on to that anger. So this law literally explains how we have the choice to carry our grudges, to carry our disappointments, to carry our failures, or to let them go, or to drop them and leave them where they are. Okay? So the same way, if you could bring that back home, we can bring that into a situation of having some disappointment in our parents, or having disappointments in one of our leaders or one of our friends or one of our peers. How long will you be upset about it? How long will you carry that unuseful weight? And these are things that we can realize when we think about the law of control. So now, I think we're done with Thailand for this moment. We talked about the law of control. And I don't know if I want to go back to the US, but let's hop in the plane and go somewhere, okay? So we're about to hop in the plane, go back somewhere cool. I don't know, maybe like Costa Rica, or maybe wherever 5D is at, because she's really cool. So maybe go hang out with her for a second. But let's go ahead and move into law number 5. If you can carry 20 pounds on your head, will it be dream pounds or worry pounds? Ooh, 5D. 5D speaking to us from the 5D, y'all. All right, so let's go into law number 5. See, law number 5 is the law of insertion. And this law reminds us that we have the power and the ability to insert any type of thought into our mind at any given time. So for me personally, I really enjoy invoking thoughts of gratitude, because I like to habitually train myself to see what's good. Thoughts of appreciation and abundance. And somebody might say, well, why would you, fill your mind up with those kind of thoughts? And I would say, why not? Why wouldn't you want the best thoughts in your mind? Why wouldn't you search or seek the ideas that you want to see in your real life? And this is what the law of insertion reminds us, is that we have the opportunity right now to plant any seed of any type into our mind. So what kind of seeds do you want to plant into your life? What kind of things do you want to see growing in your experience? Things of abundance, maybe fellowship, maybe friendship, maybe relationship. Whatever it is, you might just need to start collecting those concepts and start dwelling on them and impregnating your mind with them. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but this is the law of insertion. And it states that we can literally insert any thoughts into our mind at any time, because the mind is the garden and you're the life gardener. So if you have weeds from high school, from college, or from a bad relationship, you have the opportunity to go into that garden, sit with yourself, and literally pull those weeds out one by one, okay? And with that being done, you now have space to grow more new things of clarity, of abundance, or maybe trust, because a lot of people might not be aware of what they can create until they are. So that's going to be law number 5, everyone, the law of insertion. So one of my favorite ways to utilize this law is with affirmation. I listen to my own affirmations. I've recorded myself, and I listen to myself probably, not actually every day, at some point in the day, because I'm trying to tune myself at all times. So this is law number 5, and I hope you guys are following along. I hope this is not going too fast, and let's go ahead and move into law number 6. I like this beat. Bet. All right, cool. So law number 6. Law number 6 puts this all thing together. This is the peanut butter and jelly to the sandwich. Okay, the inner and outer worlds are connected. I don't know if you guys know this Bible verse in Psalms 23, I think. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you understand that, then when we understand that the law of insertion and the law of control give us the realization that we can literally plant seeds of any type into our mind, then when we are planting seeds into our mind and those seeds start to germinate from the small towards the big, we know that they're going to show up one day in our experiences, in our reality, in our circumstances. Why? Because thoughts are real things. So if you proclaim I am, which is, for everybody who's listening, I am is the root code for the program. If you want to program yourself, you start utilizing the I am, because everything that you state after that, you become. So it's wise to be aware of what you say, and it's also wise to be intentional about what you say, because you are literally creating yourself every day. See, as this image here at the bottom shows us, everything that we put in, we get something out for it. So what kind of thoughts would you want to put in towards your ideal lifestyle, or your ideal relationship, or your ideal family, in a sense? what kind of view would that look like? What would that necessarily look like? I'm doing like 10 things. But yeah. So the inner and the outer world are connected. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And I showed you the heart actually pulls our beliefs to us like a magnet in law number 3, the law of attraction. So for everyone who's joining us right now, we're going through the 6 laws of the mind, and we're really just breaking down how manifestation works with the realm of our thoughts and the ways that we think. So now that we actually reached the end of the laws, which is law number 6, I want to share with you guys how you can now utilize all of this information today, after you get off this live. And the first thing is going to be meditation, because meditation gives us clarity on law number 3. It lets us actually know what we believe. See, in the process of meditation, sometimes there's a narrative that goes around that says you're supposed to stop thinking or clear your mind. I have never found it to be possible. I've only realized that meditation gives me the opportunity to listen into my inner spirit and have that relationship with myself, that conversation with myself, to hear what thoughts are coming out of my subconscious, similar to the bubbles coming out of the ocean when you get triggered over here in this image. You understand? So if thoughts are coming up while I'm in meditation, I'm able to hear them and I'm able to acknowledge them, and then I'm able to dismiss them all in the same session. And it's, it's like a consistent practice. It's not something that you're just going to go meditate right now and all your beliefs about money are going to change right now. But it's more like a sculpture, and the more you keep knocking away at it, you find new things that have been holding you back from things that you've never noticed. So just to run through all of these real quick, meditation is the first thing, but to give everybody a real rough run through, because it's going to be saved on Instagram. But thoughts are real forces, which is the first law. The second law is the law of transmission, which shows us that we are transmitting thoughts through all the things that we do, as we're doing here on Instagram, thanks to this phone and this Wi-Fi. And also, when I'm not on the phone, when I'm in my room by myself, everything that I speak, I'm literally transmitting to my own subconscious, because I'm listening to my own words as I speak. And this is why they say the life or the tongue has in its power to create good or evil, because you have the choice every day with every word to utilize the law of increase or to utilize the law of decrease. For an example, the law of increase will show up, let's say something positive happens at your workplace and you affirm, good things always happen to me. Might not be always, but it's always now, because you just said it. And now as you train your mind to think like this, when it becomes a belief, now your magnet is going to start pulling all things that's good, because that's what you truly believe at that certain point in time. So what we're all really trying to do is transform what's this magnet over here. We're all really trying to figure out, how can I make this magnet what I really want it to be? Because right now it's sadness. Right now it's me not believing in myself. Right now it's me not believing in my business. Right now it's me not believing enough in my own abilities. So you might not see people believing in your abilities because you're not. But the moment you start believing in your own abilities and you perform and you present yourself, it's more likely that people would actually be able to appreciate what you're doing, because you are. Okay? So boom. So that's law number 3. Number 4, for everybody who just jumped in, was a law of control, which explains to us that we have the choice to entertain, to hold on to, or to let go of any thought at any point in time. And this insight is very important, especially when in the space of grudges, and especially in the space of disappointments and failures. If we're not training ourselves to look for the good in our situation, it's really easy to ponder over the things that we don't like that much. So that was that. And then law number 5, the law of insertion, which illustrates to us that we have the ability to insert any thoughts of any type into our mind. As you can see, I opened up the seeds of peace of mind. So hopefully we plant some peace of mind right now and some clarity right now, because we trying to have a really good garden so that we could actually have things so that our fruit can speak for us in a true sense. All right. So then law number 6 correlates and explains that the inner and outer worlds are connected. So now let's see what we can do about these 6 laws. How can we utilize these 6 laws? The first thing I told you was meditation, all right? And now the second thing is going to be affirmations. Affirmations utilizes thought consciously to evoke emotion. And as this consistently happens, the same way we learn the lies, the same way we learn the lies, we have to use repetition to learn the truths. And you'll know the truth because it'll be magnetized inside of you as a belief. It's not going to be shakeable. It's not going to be doubtable. You understand? That's like somebody asking you, what's your name? You don't doubt about it. You don't even contemplate. You just exactly what it is because you know it. And what we're trying to do right now at this point in time is start to know the goodness that we are, to know the infinite money that we are, to know the infinite riches and the infinite abundance and the infinite confidence. All of these things are limitless, but we are those things. We just not programmed to know those things. We're programmed to know lack. We're programmed to know not enough. We're programmed to know we're running out. But we're not programmed to know it overflows. We're not programmed to know it's abundance. We're not programmed that way. So we have to do that. That's our new work. Okay. So after that, now, gratitude journal. I don't know which image I want to show y'all right now for gratitude journal. Let's just go back here. So gratitude journal, right? With the gratitude journal for me, right? I write the things that I'm grateful for every day, every morning, most times. I don't actually do it at night, but sometimes. Let me actually show y'all mine. All right. So boom. Where's this flip? All right, boom. So this is my gratitude journal, y'all. Every day I write one full page right after my meditation, or sometimes before, depending on how I'm feeling, about everything that I'm grateful for every day. So as soon as I wake up, do my meditation, do my workout, sometimes workout, then meditation, depends on how I feel. But then I come in here and I write one full page of the things I'm grateful for. Why? Because I'm training myself, number one, to focus on what I'm grateful for, number one. Number two, I'm training myself to record the things that are good in my life. Then it changed my perspective to always look for the things that are good, okay? So this right here is powerful, especially at nighttime, because I know that before I go to sleep, my mom always taught me to pray before I go to sleep, but I never had some strong awareness like to back that up. But what I started doing was change the way I feel before I go to sleep. I speak about my day. I conclude the events that went on through my day as I speak about them or as I write about them. Speaking about them at night helps me get into the emotional state faster. But this is just another method in the toolbox of impregnating your thoughts, impregnating your subconscious mind with thoughts. Because the same way, this pen right here, I wrote all these notes for this seminar that we're doing right now. And this seminar is a seed, and it's being planted in the minds of everybody listening for the sake of you regaining awareness and power in your own thought. The same way the pen impregnates is the same way the penis impregnates, because the penis spits the ink of light inside the womb, the darkness of and the same way this pen releases the ink of, I don't know where this ink is from, but for someone to read, and then that goes into their mind and starts to impregnate them. So we're talking about sex all the time, in a sense, because subconscious and conscious correlate with each other in the same way as sex does. So so that'll be number 3. The third thing that you can do, gratitude journal. All right. And that also correlates with nighttime affirmations. So I would say this presentation is now closed, family. I just wanted to tap in with you guys and share this information through the web of the world, tap into the quantum space and share what I've been utilizing and also how I realized my manifestations weren't popping. They weren't popping because I wasn't believing in the work I was doing while I was working. And I wasn't aware of that. It took me some time to notice that I was putting in a lot of work. I was working hours on hours. I was paying people to help me. I was investing in things, but my heart wasn't really in my work because I had some doubt in place of my confidence. So once I was able to notice that, by my experience, people not reflecting what I was putting out in a sense, I started to check myself like, what am I really putting out? What is really tied up in the web of my world on the inside? And how do I unravel that? So I sat with myself, and over been like 3 years meditating to just get to where I'm at right now today. So, hey, I appreciate that, Every Touch of Royalty. I'm blessed that you were blessed by this. I'm blessed that you were blessed. Um, so yeah. So before we close this out, I actually want to jump back in here and politic with you guys, but I wanted to save this and also upload this to YouTube so that people could have the step-by-steps of all these 6 laws and also how to utilize them. So these laws fall inside of the 7 Hermetic principles. They do not supersede them or anything like that, but I felt that this knowledge helped me, I would say, tweak my law of attraction thoughts. You understand? Because it sounded like, oh, law of attraction, I'm just going to get it by talking about it and thinking about it. But the truth is, you get it by believing about it. And yeah. So with that being said, I'm going to actually play 1 minute of an affirmation, and hopefully it blesses y'all. And then I'm going to close this live, and then I'm going to jump right back in. All right. All right. So let's do it like this. All right. Boom. Are y'all ready? Come on, YouTube. You was playing the whole tracks this whole time. Okay, there it goes. All right, y'all ready?
I wanted to say I love you.
You love me.
You
I love
unconditionally
all
love
parts
me.
of me.
I'm
Have a great
unconditionally
and
love
wonderful day. You
you.
love
I'm
love.
unconditional lover.
It's okay that I love you.
Unconditionally.
I allow unconditional love into my mind, my body, my spirit. I bring love into everything that I do. You love me. I love all parts of me. Have a great and wonderful day. You love love. It's okay that I love you. I allow unconditional love into my mind, my body, my spirit. I bring love into everything that I do. You love me. I love all parts of me. Have a great and wonderful day. You love love. It's okay that I love you. I allow unconditional love into my mind, my body, my spirit. I bring love into everything that I do. You love me. I love all parts of me. Have a great and wonderful day. You love love. It's okay that I love you. I allow unconditional love into my mind, my body, my spirit. I bring love into everything that I do. You love me. I love all parts of me. Have a great and wonderful day. You love love. I love all parts of me. Have a great and wonderful day. You love love. It's okay that I love you. I allow unconditional love into my mind, my body, my spirit. I bring love into everything that I do. You love me. I love all parts of me. Have a great and wonderful day. It's okay that I love you. I allow unconditional love into my mind, my body, my spirit. I bring love
I
into
love you
everything that I do.
unconditionally. You allow me to love.
I love all
I
parts
am
of me.
love that feels majestic. I just wanted to say I love you. You unconditionally love me. I'm an unconditional lover. You are an unconditional lover. I love you unconditionally. You allow me to love you. I am love that feels majestic. I just wanted to say I love you. You unconditionally love me. I'm an unconditional lover. I love you unconditionally. You allow me to love you. I am love that feels majestic. I just wanted to say I love you. You unconditionally love me. I'm an unconditional lover. You are an unconditional lover. I love you unconditionally. You allow me to love you. I am love that feels majestic. I just wanted to say I love you. You unconditionally love me. I'm an unconditional lover. I love you unconditionally. You allow me to love you. I am love that feels majestic. I just wanted to say I love you. You unconditionally love me. I'm an unconditional lover. You are an unconditional lover. I love you unconditionally. You allow me to love you. I am love that feels majestic. I just wanted to say I love you. You unconditionally love me. I'm an unconditional lover. I love you unconditionally. You allow me to love you. I am loved, it feels majestic. I just wanted to say I love you. You unconditionally love me. I'm an unconditional lover. I love you unconditionally. You allow me to love you. I am loved, it feels majestic. I just wanted to say I love you. You unconditionally love me.